Well, it has been an insanely busy week in the cruise world as Norwegian Cruise Line's Norwegian Escape has unfortunately ran aground in the Dominican Republic, and that resulted in many voyages being canceled. Plus, we talk about Carnival Cruise Line and how a man jumped off their ship. Hey everyone, welcome to This Week in Cruise News. My name is Tyler. Thank you so much for joining us for today's show. We're gonna get started with the world's biggest cruise line, Carnival Cruise Line. This week was never a shortage of news for Carnival Cruise Line, as unfortunately, we're gonna begin at the Carnival Horizon, one of Carnival Cruise Line's Vista-class ships that currently does 6 and 8 night sailings to the Caribbean out of the port of Miami. Well, unfortunately, a man has jumped overboard while the ship was sailing on its cruise this week. And unfortunately, and a good part due to the cooperation of the Coast Guard and Carnival Cruise Line employees, the man was found. However, it was too late as the man was deceased at the scene. Now, this very, very unfortunate event happened on Wednesday night as the ship was sailing away from Grand Turk all the way over there in Turks and Caicos. Trying to make his way all the way back to the port of Miami. Again, very unfortunate situation with this man who jumped overboard. Thoughts and prayers are with his family because this is a very tragic situation. Now we're gonna be shifting gears from that sad story to a more upbeat story with Carnival Cruise Line. As Carnival Cruise Line's John Held will be launching a brand new video series where he will take a trip down memory lane and share some of Carnival Cruise Line's most popular moments with their 50 years of operation. This comes as Carnival Cruise Line is, of course, having their celebration event, which is commemorating Carnival Cruise Line's 50th anniversary. Now, this show will also feature former and current Carnival team members, maybe including Christine Duffy, Arnold Donald, and a whole bunch of other people, so make sure you stay tuned. Again, that will be on Carnival Cruise Line's page. And now shifting gears over to Norwegian Cruise Line. Norwegian Cruise Line had an absolute packed week this week with some unfortunate situations with their ship, the Norwegian Escape, but there was also some really good news, which we'll get to in a moment, with their new ship, the Norwegian Prima. Really, really good news, but let's go now over to the Norwegian Escape. The Norwegian Escape was unfortunately grounded in Puerto de Playa in the Dominican Republic during the week. Now, this event lasted around 6 hours or so, where the ship departed the port around 5 o'clock or so local time, and then was stuck on a sandbar. Now, there's lots of reports going around how this happened. Some people are saying it's due to the wind at the port. Others is saying that the ship veered off the course. Now, we are not exactly sure what caused this unfortunate event. However, the good news from this story is that the Norwegian Escape was able to be refloated and pushed out of the sandbar and back to the pier in Puerto de Playa around 12 o'clock local time. So again, it was about a 6-hour period while they were stuck in this sandbar. Now moving on to some more positive news with Norwegian Cruise Line. Norwegian Cruise Line announced Katy Perry to be the godmother of the all-new Norwegian Prima that will call in Galveston, Texas, Port Canaveral, Florida, and many other ports all around the United States. Hey, we're going to take a break from the cruise news right now and invite all of you to subscribe to the show if you've not done so yet already. We do the show every single week where we catch you up on this week in cruise news. And now finally, we're going to end this show with an absolute good news alert, and that is that Australia has finally allowed cruise ships to begin sailing next month. This is fantastic news. And again, beginning on April the 12th, 2022, cruise lines can finally start to resume sailings in Australia. And again, this is fantastic news for all the folks down there. Australia has been the strictest when it comes to cruising. They've actually been only one of the few continents to say no cruising at all. You cannot cruise one bit from Australia unless you're sailing in practically a yacht. Those are the only types of cruises that were allowed in Australia. However, with this good news that Australia is allowing to restart cruising, most cruise ships can come back from Australia if they do domestic-only cruises. And some of the other measures that were implemented by the Australian government to allow cruising to resume down under was a vaccination requirement, pre-cruise testing, stress testing, so basically doing some mock voyages, see how everything will play out down there. But again, there's a lot of, potholes on the road to resuming cruising down there in Australia. But this is fantastic news that Australia even has a chance of resuming cruising starting on April 12th. So for all my Australian cruisers, congrats to you guys, and I can't wait to see you all back on this sea. Hey, thank you so much for watching this show. A big thank you to all of our supporters who support this show each and every single week by liking, subscribing, and supporting me via Patreon. Patreon does help keep the lights on for these shows. It allows me to spend even more time each and every single week doing these types of shows.